What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode here, the Side Guys Football Forum. I'm one of your co-hosts on the side, joined as always by my good friend, my good buddy, the other half of this guys, Mr. Tad the Side. And Tad, we're here at Thanksgiving week. This is a, week where we got the 3 games happening on Thursday. Then we have no bye weeks this week. So, we were talking about last week we had the bye-mageddon, bye-apocalypse, whatever you want to call it. So we have no teams on a bye week this week, but people, next week in week 14 is the final bye week of the regular season. We will have 6 teams on a bye week that week. So yeah, make sure you tune into our episodes as we get you prepared for those for that week next week, because that'll also be the final regular season week of the fantasy football season. So very critical week next week with 6 teams on a bye week. It's going to be very, very interesting.
My win this week just got a lot more interesting then.
Exactly. So, Dad, we got the week 12 injuries that we're going to cover as we go into week 13 to give our waiver wire picks. But Dad, before we get into all of that, we have to give a shout out to our great sponsors at Underdog Fantasy, because during the Thanksgiving time, you could bet on all the Thanksgiving football action. I think there's going to be college basketball happening on Thursday as well.
Yep.
So you could bet on that. But you could bet on college football, because I'm pretty sure you got that happening all week as well. You could bet on the NBA action. You got the Emirates Cup still going on right now. The regular season, obviously, you got women's college basketball as well. So guys, tons of things to be betting on out there. Make yourself some money as we get into the holiday season. We mentioned it is Thanksgiving week, but right after Thanksgiving, that's when you start prepping for all your Christmas shopping. So guys, earn some extra money as we get into the holiday season here, and do that by getting into our action here by using the promo code DESAI, DESAI. Double up on your initial deposit of $10 or more, up to $500, courtesy of our good friends Underdog Fantasy. So, if you were to put in that max amount, $500, using our promo code on your first deposit, you can bet with up to $1,000 on their betting platform. You can use the website, very easy to use. You can use the apps, both on Android and Apple devices, very easy to use there as well. So, guys, take advantage of that promo code. Once again, that promo code is DESAI, DESAI. Double up on your initial deposit of $10 or more, up to $500, courtesy of our good friends at Underdog Fantasy.
On Thanksgiving, we do have one hell of a haymaker of a game. Are you ready for this?
I know where you're going in this.
I swear to God, this is real. At 6:30 Central Time, we got Memphis at Tulane. Yulman Stadium. How about that?
Yeah, could be a good game. I don't know. I have no idea about that one.
6:30 Central, people. Tune in.
There you go.
Tulane, 14.5 favorites.
Tulane's 14.5 favorites. Wow.
Man, Memphis. Is this the same Memphis team that beat Florida State? Good God.
It could be. It very well could be.
It is. It's not could be. It is.
Okay, I don't know. All right, Ted. So let's get into all the injuries that unfortunately happened over the Week 12 weekend slate.
Anthony Richardson?
Here. Anthony Richardson did not get hurt.
Damn it!
But he did lose one of his weapons, which we'll get to a little bit later here. But let's start at the quarterback position here, Tad. A quarterback is unfortunately done for the rest of 2024, and that quarterback is Gardner Minshew. He suffered an injury towards the end of that game against the Denver Broncos. He was able to walk off the field, but he needed the help of training staff. He was visibly shown holding his shoulder and neck area. But yeah, after the game, it was confirmed that he has injured himself and he will be put on the IR for the rest of the season. Done for 2024. And it looks like Desmond Ridder will now be the starting quarterback.
He's a Raider?
Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, he was picked up off the waiver wire from Arizona, who released him because obviously
correction. It was not waiver wire. It was a practice squad signing.
Practice squad signing. Okay, yeah, there you go. That's
I'm
probably
sorry,
more
practice
accurate,
squad.
sure.
What?
practice squad signing. That's what I
are.
meant to say there. But yeah, so he'll take the spot there because Aiden O'Connell, the quarterback that
he's a Raider,
buying time there between the two of them. He's on IR since October. So I mean, there's a possibility that we may see him towards the end of the season, but as of right now, he is still hurt. So he is on IR, has to finish off his IR stint before he can come back, be activated to the main roster. But they're probably going to be activating practice squad quarterback Carter Bradley to be the backup for Desmond Ridder. Maybe they'll sign somebody off of the free agency wire as well, but most likely we'll see Desmond Ridder, Carter Bradley as your quarterbacks for the Las Vegas Raiders going forward. Tad, if you're starting Raiders quarterbacks, I think you're in bigger issues than the quarterback position, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, oh no, the Raiders might not make the playoffs now. That's a shame.
You're vying for that number one overall spot. So, I mean, it's possible.
That's like the in the hunt. Take it from a Colts fan. That's like the in the hunt graphic that Sunday Night Football shows. And you're just like, yeah, I guess like technically we're in the hunt, but like, come on, let's get real. Yeah, sucks. Guess.
Pretty much. Played it simple there.
Carter Bradley out of
South Alabama.
I have no idea if that's
correct. Oh, wow. Okay.
I have zero idea. I'll take your word for it.
South Alabama. Yeah. He is a South
Alabama. Wait, was he the Senior Bowl guy? The late replacement?
He was a Senior Bowl. I don't know if he was a late replacement, but he wasn't the Senior Bowl.
I vaguely remember that. Vaguely.
All right, Ted, this is actually a very critical one because this happened as of recording, this happened on Monday Night Football, but J.K. Dobbins has suffered a knee injury. He was seen on the sideline trying to make some cuts and trying to activate the knee, see whether he could be able to go. They're trying to tape it up, see whether he's able to go, but they have shut him down for the rest of the game. And so he is not returning in this game. So yeah, this is something to monitor. And Tad, of course, all of Twitter's about this, that just maybe the Ravens have cursed him in some way. That's on the field against his former team. He has hurt himself again. So we're hoping that it's not a serious injury, but it is a situation that you want to monitor. But Tad, here's the big thing. Gus Edwards, his backup, who is also obviously a former Raven, he is available in close to 75% of ESPN leagues. So, I mean, in case J.K. Dobbins has to miss any time, he is available. So go pick up Gus Edwards because, yeah, he'll just pick up the slack and he'll become a bell cow in Jim Harbaugh's run-first offense. So, I mean, that is just a fantastic pickup if you could sort of prioritize that off the waiver wire as we're making this push towards the fantasy playoffs, as well as all these teams making their playoff push. It's this is a very critical addition to your roster if you can afford to make it, that in case Dobbins has to miss any time, Edwards is one of those very high priority handcuffs that could just take that spot and absolutely be the same guy, potentially even in Dobbins' place there. But what do you think there?
I mean, for clarification's sake, for our listeners and viewers, we're recording this even before the Monday night game is over. So we don't know the severity of the injury. It's definitely worth tracking because, yes, like you said, I mean, it's very, well, at least last I checked, it's very clear that Los Angeles is not going to win this game. So it could be a precautionary pull of okay, we're not, just screw it, just keep him healthy. And they have precedent for that because that's exactly what they did with Justin Herbert, where, we did the same thing on the podcast. But if Dobbins is to miss time, 100%. Edwards is a A+ pickup, instantly shoots to the top of the list of every, waiver wire priority list out there. But yeah, it's definitely worth monitoring. That is probably going to be the first thing I check when I wake up tomorrow morning.
Yeah, 100%. And then it's also, just like you said, where they were cautious with Justin Herbert, obviously people know the track record of injury history that J.K. Dobbins has gone through. So you have to expect that they'll exactly. They have to sort of take that extra precaution with this guy who has dealt with injuries in the past as well. So yeah, they may err on the side of caution. That's you know what? We have a pretty good replacement in Gus Edwards. Let's make sure this guy is fully good to go. The Chargers are most likely going to be in the playoff picture for sure for the AFC. So yeah, it's let's make sure Dobbins is good for a playoff run instead of, some of these last regular season games here. Let's go with Gus Edwards. But yeah, if you're playing in a league where you have to spend free agency budget and you still have some money, this is a guy that I may want to prioritize spending a good amount of money to get this guy because, yeah, he could be a critical push towards the end there.
You still have money at this point. You are way more disciplined than I ever will be.
Exactly. Tad, unfortunately, another running back that's a pretty big name when it comes to fantasy football. He suffered an injury. That's David Montgomery of the Detroit Lions in that game against the Indianapolis Colts. He left the game in the third quarter with apparent shoulder injury. He left for the locker room without his jersey and without his pad. So he went straight to the locker room. They didn't evaluate him on the sidelines. He returned in the fourth quarter wearing his gear, but he did not return in the game. After the game, Montgomery was seen being interviewed by reporters. He said he's going to be perfectly fine to play on Thanksgiving against the Chicago Bears, but this is another situation, Tad, where it's like the Lions have a pretty firm hold of the number 1 seed in the NFC. They have a very suitable 1-2 punch there with Jahmyr Gibbs. So I think this is a situation where on the short week, I could see them holding him out to obviously just go with more Jahmyr Gibbs against the Bears on Thanksgiving Day there. But yeah, this is a situation that you want to keep track of. Maybe they'll still play him and they'll just use him sparingly. But just overall, I feel like this is a situation where maybe the Lions will be cautious, just like the Chargers may be with Dobbins. They may be cautious here with David Montgomery, so they'll sit him in favor of Jahmyr Gibbs then.
For our YouTube audience, I'm sorry if it seems I'm distracted. Get off the stove. He's not listening to me. My cat's on the stove and messing around with the knobs. This is how I die.
Exactly.
All right, no, don't get in the sink. That's worse. God damn it. Don't get cat. Don't get it. I don't want him in the sink. Do you realize how much hair that leaves? Anyway.
I know, but it's safer than fiddling with knobs in the oven.
That's true. Now what is he messing with? Oh, God. Anyway, point being, yeah, if Montgomery says he's good to go, I'm sure he's good to go. But like you said, the tricky part is it's a short week. This is why, a lot of people, including me, I hate Thursday night games, or I guess Thursday games in general in this case. Even if it is Thanksgiving, yeah, because that short week is a real bitch to deal with. Because, yeah, if he has one setback, that's it. That's game. That's literally game. That's it. Yep. So it's definitely, if you're a David Montgomery manager, if you're a Jahmyr Gibbs manager as well, something worth, to monitor. It will be interesting. Do you know who their third string running back is?
At one point, I think it was Craig Reynolds, but I don't know whether he's still on the roster.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I forgot about him. All right, I'm on it. But no, that would be an interesting potential pickup depending on his. Let's see. It is still Craig Reynolds.
It is still Craig Reynolds. Okay, good to know.
And they have a fourth stringer named, oh, good Lord. Sion Vaki?
Sione Vaitai, I think, right? Or Vaki? No, yeah, it is Vaki. Yeah.
It is definitely a K. I can't speak, but I can read.
Vaitai's the lineman.
Of course, he went to Utah, naturally.
Yeah, makes sense.
But point being is the backups, that would be an interesting emergency pickup. If you're a David Montgomery manager, maybe. But yeah, they'll probably lean heavy on Jahmyr Gibbs if he's not going to go. But yeah, like I said, if David Montgomery sounded that confident post game, I think he'll go.
That's fair. I got a twofer for you, unfortunately, with the Washington Commanders. Both their running backs got hurt in this game against the Dallas Cowboys. So we'll start with Brian Robinson Jr.
I got a more unfortunate thing for you is their kicker can't make an extra point.
Yeah, that was a very important.
Let me tell you, watching that game at a bar in Dallas, that was a ride, man.
That was interesting.
I was in the bathroom for the McLaurin catch. It was awful.
Oh my gosh.
I just like, I was like next to my friend. I was like, did Washington just score? He's like, I think they did. And all we heard was 86 yards. And I was like, what?
Yeah. Very, very poor angles on that touchdown for sure. But let's get to the injuries here. So Brian Robinson Jr.
Also,
got his leg rolled up on.
Poor angle with me on the urinal as well, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. So Brian Robinson Jr. got his leg rolled up on in the very beginning of the game against the Dallas Cowboys. He left the field on his own power and he went straight to the locker room. He came back later in the quarter, but he was very limited action, and then they took him out for the rest of the second half, so he did not return in that game. And then his backup, Austin Eckler, unfortunately took a big hit on the very final drive of the game for the Washington Commanders on a kickoff return. He was determined to have a concussion. He was immediately taken to the local hospital as precaution. And so, yeah, they are playing on the longer week. So they're playing on Sunday. They're not playing on Thursday night. Typically, Washington does play on Thursday, but it's not happening this year. So they'll be playing the Tennessee Titans this coming weekend. They could be without both their starting running backs because, yeah, especially with Austin Eckler dealing with concussion symptoms. He dealt with concussion symptoms back when he was playing with the Chargers. So it's like this is something that you want to be cautious about as we go enter this week here. They're definitely making a playoff push as well, the Washington Commanders. So you got to watch that. And Brian Robinson Jr., a lot of people are saying that this may be a more serious injury than initially that we're thinking here. So yeah, he could possibly miss, if not this week, but maybe more time than that. So that's something that you want to keep your eye on as we go through the season here, through the week here, and the season as well. But in case both those guys can't go, you'll have to go with Jeremy McNichols as your starting running back, and backup is Chris Rodriguez Jr. So both of those guys will step up in place there. I do like Chris Rodriguez Jr. for sure. So yeah, both those guys will step in place of Eckler and Robinson Jr. if neither of those guys can go, or only one of those guys can go. Those are guys that maybe you want to keep an eye on the waiver wire there.
Eckler, I barely know her.
Moving on, let's get to the Indianapolis Colts here. And yeah, unfortunately, Tad, one of your receivers, Josh Downs,
come on. I was in a good mood.
He's dealing with an injury. He landed on his shoulder in the fourth quarter, and the defender landed on top of him. So it wasn't just that he landed hard on his shoulder.
It was a dirty fucking hit.
Yeah, say what you want there, but just
kick him out of the league.
Landed right on top of him. He motioned for the trainers to come get a look at him. He was taken to the sidelines very promptly after that. He is now considered week to week dealing with the shoulder injury, and he could miss this upcoming game against the New England Patriots. This could affect the passing offense for the Colts because he is their main slot receiver. They still have their outside weapons in Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman Jr., but yeah, without Josh Downs.
So sorry. So what was that second name?
Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman Jr.
Okay. Say that second name again.
Michael Pittman Jr.
Oh God, that does sound familiar.
Yeah,
God, it's a distant memory because he's been fucking nowhere.
Yeah, he has been a ghost in this offense for sure. So in place of Josh Downs, I think we'll see the rookie Adonai Mitchell playing the slot more. He did come in when Josh Downs went out that game. He was playing more of the slot role there for this Colts offense. But Tad, obviously you're a Colts fan. How significant is this injury, and how do you feel about Adonai Mitchell replacing him as that slot receiver now?
Life is darkness. There is no hope. It's just everything sucks. It's just give up. Like any fragment of hope you have, just stop.
Can't be that bad.
Oh, yeah, it's that bad. Have you seen Anthony Richardson play?
He has a better matchup in New England this week.
8 for 22. I know that's not what he finished at, but that was the last he was at when I checked.
Detroit has a good defense, so I mean, you got to chalk it up there.
They're not that good. Not that. Oh God. Yeah, no. This is fucking doomsday. I mean, Josh Downs is without a doubt, without question, our best receiver. Yeah, we're fucked.
Okay.
We're fucked. I mean, I don't see it. Maybe Michael Pittman is now roster worthy. Maybe he's worth a speculative ad. If you're like my friends who I don't know why he still has him, but if you're like my friend who has Zeke Elliott sitting on his bench, yeah, drop Zeke, add Alec Pierce. That's a better ad right there. Because Alec Pierce is still, going to be our deep threat, and he is a legitimate deep threat. I was kind of questioning if that was going to be consistent. No, trust me, that is here to stay, and I love it. Maybe Michael Pittman steps up in Josh Downs, but the problem is their play style is so different. I don't see that happening. I like what you pointed out as AD Mitchell probably is the best bet to replace Downs. And plus, another thing to know is AD Mitchell's target numbers have actually risen the last 2 weeks. We started getting him more involved in the game plan. Not, so much he's been a focal point, but he has been more involved in this offense, which I thought was an interesting choice. Not one that I did not like mind you, because I love that. But yeah, so I think AD Mitchell's probably 80. Yeah, I would go, if I had to rank them, Alec Pierce, AD Mitchell, Michael Pitt. You know what? Alec Pierce, A.D. Mitchell, 50 feet of crap. Michael Pittman.
Okay, good to know.
And if I had to rank the quarterbacks, Joe Flacco, 1,000 feet of crap.
Wow.
Fucking Anthony Richardson. I hate him.
Those harsh words.
He's
harsh
so
words
bad. He's so bad.
Speaking of so bad, you gotta look.
Hit a throw once in your fucking life. God.
Yeah. Speaking of
Chris
so
Ballard's
bad,
gonna come back again, isn't he?
He probably will come back.
Fucking shit.
But speaking of so bad, that was the Niners' performance in Green Bay over the weekend.
Oh,
and
unfortunately,
the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you reach 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years? You poor soul. Did you get the next Tom Brady of a 7th round pick? Literally the last pick of the entire draft? Oh, you poor thing. But yes, no, you lost to Green Bay once.
So we're actually talking about the Green Bay Packers receiver room here. So they're dealing with an injury for Romeo Doubs. Towards the end of the third quarter against San Francisco 49ers, he injured his head while attempting to make a touchdown catch. Taken out of the game, he's being evaluated in the medical tent for concussion. He is now dealing with concussion-like symptoms. It's most likely that he'll miss the game on Thanksgiving because they're playing on a short week against the Miami Dolphins at home there on Thursday night there. So we'll see whether, he'll be good to go for the following week when they play in week 14. But without Doubs, they'll have obviously Jaden Reed, Christian Watson. We may see some more Tucker Kraft in the offense as well there. So I don't see them missing a beat there all that much. But honestly, Tad, they've actually, which happened against San Francisco as well, but just they've been leaning more on Josh Jacobs in the run game to actually move this offense down the field. So they actually have been passing as much as you probably like as a Jaden Reed or Christian Watson or even a Romeo Doubs manager. It's just not looking like they're passing as much. They're leaning more on the ground there, especially with that colder weather up there in Green Bay. So, yeah, possibly, well, not possibly, but just Romeo Doubs most likely not playing on Thursday because of the short week and dealing with concussion symptoms, but maybe he'll be in play for week 14.
Romeo Doubs out of?
Nevada.
Damn it!
Yeah.
God! You don't watch college football, but you still know this? God damn it.
That's the draft prep for you.
You're so fucking annoying. Anyway, no, I completely agree with everything. Jaden Reed, probably he sees his value rise the most if Doubs doesn't play, but maybe Kraft. I don't know. It's tough. That Packers offense is tough to predict, but yeah, I would say either Kraft or Reed. But not saying that Romeo Doubs isn't important.
Yeah.
But he's kind of been the least important of that entire core. So, like, yeah, he's a recognizable name, but I don't really know how big of a loss that is.
There's obviously all that, he was having disagreements with Matt LaFleur earlier this season.
Oh, that's right. He missed the game because of personal issues.
Maybe that's part of it. All of that's,
that.
It's just a bad season altogether for Romeo Doubs. Like, I don't know what it is, but just, yeah, it's fair. It's fair. That's just,
I totally forgot he missed that game.
Yep. And the last injury, Ted, that we need to get to is the tight end position. We got to go to Jatavion Sanders of the Carolina Panthers.
You had to explain to me what happened here because I was on Red Zone and, the Red Zone thing of like, oh my God, he's hurt. Another game. And they like switched off. So like I saw him get carted off. What the hell happened?
So he landed directly on his head. So that was the concern. So that he landed directly on his head. He wasn't moving really all that much. They had to cart him off as precaution. They had the neck roll and all that stuff on him or whatever to make sure he was okay. They took him to the hospital. He was being evaluated for concussions as well as neck injuries, but he was discharged from the hospital very quickly right after that. So it wasn't a serious injury. It's looking like he's going to be just fine. He was seen moving around. His neck was moving around all fine. So it seems like he's going to be okay. It looked a lot worse than it actually was.
Okay,
that's pretty much what's translating there.
Did it bend a weird way or like what? Like explain, like try to visually explain it for me because it's football. Of course you're going to land on your head.
No, but I think it's essentially what happened is just like, yeah, he landed directly, like helmet straight.
Was he like upside down and just like fell?
Yeah,
oh, wow. Shit.
Yeah. So yeah, further tests are going to be done this week to see whether he could suit up against their divisional rival, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this weekend. But yeah, it seems like he avoided serious injuries, so it's not anything that's going to be like career-threatening or, thankfully life-threatening or anything like that. It's just a sort of, injury that they want to keep as precaution here. So in case he can't play this coming weekend, in case he can't play this coming weekend, we will see Tommy Tremble suit up and play as the starting tight end for the Carolina Panthers. But yeah, if there's going to be any time missed for Ja'Tavion Sanders, I don't feel like I like Tremble as a replacement for Sanders in this case.
Oh, that looks so uncomfortable. But you know what? It's actually funny. This is a lesson I was taught when I attempted to play high school football. So for our, podcast listeners, what ended up happening is he basically got hit at the knees, flipped, face planted on the ground, and his neck just like went up. But fun fact, that's the only way that's the only direction where you cannot break your neck if it goes up or against your back. So I bet that's why he left the hospital so quickly. Cause if you're going to bend your neck or hurt your neck, it's always, go back, not, any other direction. Cause that could get a lot worse. So it looks bad, but honestly, that was probably best case scenario. Oh
yeah. He avoided serious injuries. So I think he should be fine.
It just bent like he's fucking the girl from Exorcist.
Yeah.
So, good God.
Thankfully, it should be okay.
He's about to spew out vomit all over the room. Crawl up the wall.
All right, Tad. So we got through our Week 12 injuries here. Let's get to our Week 13 waiver wire picks. So let's start at the quarterback position, Tad. And I may surprise you with this pick because you think about this name and you'd be like, this is a guy that I don't know if I want him starting for a fantasy roster, but Will Levis of the Tennessee Titans. I'm saying if you need a quarterback to stream, I'm saying pick this guy up.
What are you doing?
Now, I got numbers to back this up. Now, if you look at the last 3 weeks, Tad, Will
Levis are they real numbers or are we talking like Trump numbers?
No, these are good numbers. Over the last 3 weeks, Tad, he has scored at least 15 fantasy points in every game, and he's averaging 16.9 fantasy points per game. Now, here's why a lot of people will question it, because in all other games that he's played in, he is averaging 7.72 fantasy points.
You're right.
And he has not gone over 50 fantasy points in all that span. This includes, Tad, one negative fantasy point performance. He had a negative fantasy point performance earlier in the season, Tad. He had minus 0.5 fantasy points in one game. So, yeah, he has definitely turned it around the past couple of weeks. I think you have to attribute that to, it's like he suffered the shoulder injury. They rushed him back. He was dealing with complications there. They held him out for a little bit while again. Now he's back. He's looking like he's fully healthy. And heading into Week 13, they're playing the Washington Commanders, Tad. And you talked about this. You're watching that game at the bar with your friends. Washington gave up 247 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns to Cooper Rush and the hapless Dallas Cowboys. So it's like you have to look at what Will Levis has been doing. I have a little bit more faith in Will Levis compared to Cooper Rush and this passing offense. I know you're a big fan of Calvin Ridley ever since they traded DeAndre Hopkins. He's been performing really well, so I expect him to have a really good week as well. But
11 fantasy points, baby.
Exactly. So it's like, while the Titans don't have much to play for this season, I think they're going to air it out. They want to make sure that Will Levis is the guy that we want to build our offense around. And like I said, he's been on a bit of a hot streak, so I like it to continue against Washington.
I can't believe I'm about to say that. Well, okay, I should correct myself there, because you and I were, I'm not going to say like huge fans of Will Levis, but we said he had a lot of promise going into the draft. It was just like kind of his post snap, can he adapt? I think we're seeing that in the pros too, of he has trouble adapting to when the defense doesn't do what he expects them to do. But this is a crazy stat.
No, I remember specifically because we had the debate between CJ Stroud and Bryce Young as far as these two guys, whether they're going to be in the discussion for the first overall pick.
Did I get that one wrong?
And then we had the same discussion about Anthony Richardson and Will Levis about
did I get that one right?
Guys that have a ton of potential, but it's just like you have to go through the growing pains with those types of guys. I think you're seeing it with both those guys for sure.
No, so this is crazy. 2 of the last 3 weeks, Will Levis has had a 75% or higher completion percentage. That's crazy.
See, but then the funny thing
is after they got rid of DeAndre.
See, but then the funny thing is that you have to sandwich that between I think it was like 54% completion percentage. So it's like that is
correct, 54%.
So it's like that is the up and down that you're going to get with Will Levis. That's like he's gonna look amazing one week, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, but it's not
yes,
great.
Yes.
But he still, like I said, he still scored 15 or more fantasy points in all 3 of the last 3 weeks. So it's like
shit.
Completion percentage doesn't make a huge difference when it comes to fantasy.
Well, that's also true. But it is a good indicator of are you making smart decisions or not?
For sure.
Of course.
For sure.
Yeah, shit. All right. Well, you convinced me. That is interesting.
Yeah. And the biggest thing is I know there's no teams on a bye week this week, but he is widely available. He's only rostered at 4% of ESPN leagues right now. So I mean,
well, I will say the only thing that gives me a little bit of hesitancy with that is Marshawn Lattimore did not play this past week, and he is expected to play.
That's fair. Week. That's a good point.
That. But again, like it's how much does one corner like for Terry McLaurin that hurts his value in a lot of ways. For what Tanner McLaurin, they're on the same team. What the fuck am I talking about? Calvin Ridley. There we go. For Calvin Ridley, that massively hurts his value. But for Will Levis, maybe he pulled something out of his ass. Who knows? It's not terrible. At this point, we're getting desperate. People try. I always love this. Of like, you picked him. I'm like, you try picking someone.
Yeah, but like I said, at this point, week 13, there's no teams on a bye week, so I don't think there's a need for you to start Will Levis. But yeah, in case you have to, like if you, for some reason, are dealing with quarterback issues or whatever, weren't able to draft a good one, and you're looking for a streaming option, this could be a very sneaky play that could possibly get you a win this week. So what do you got at running back for us, Ted?
I know. Why'd you 2 weeks in a row you stick me with this shit? You know the Jeff Goldblum Jurassic Park scene where he's like, wow, that is a massive pile of shit.
Yeah.
That is the waiver wire running back roster.
It's not all that great.
It's not. It's really not. Even Gus Edwards is what you said available in 70% of leagues. So like 30%.
75.
I don't know what the fuck ever. But I guess Gus Edwards, I don't know, Amir Abdullah. I mean, you look at what he's done. 9 points 2 weeks ago, 15 points this week, but that's just because Madison was out and he's probably coming back. So I don't know, Abdullah, maybe. I don't know. If you need a running back at this point, just trade for one. Who cares?
Trade deadline in most fantasy leagues has come and gone.
You know what? A lot of leagues don't have trade deadlines because they're not a bunch of squares.
You're the only one that doesn't have a trade deadline.
Oh, I'd put. All right, we're gonna throw that in the company Slack. We're gonna put that up to a vote.
Go for it. But yeah,
there's my phone.
Damn it!
Cap is literally on top of my phone. I'm not even joking.
Nice.
Get out of my spot.
He's got important things he's got to tweet out from his account.
Oh, he's about to.
All right, Tom. What about receiver? Do you got a receiver option for us off the waiver wire?
Oh, let's see. I do actually. I'm cheating a bit. Because I think he was the same. I can't remember if he was my start pick or my pickup receiver, whatever. I picked him last week in one of our episodes, but you know what? I'm doubling down because God damn, his hot streak is still going. It's Jerry Jeudy, baby. He is available in 30% of leagues still, which is crazy because he has scored double digits in half PPR leagues in 4 straight weeks. He hasn't seen less than 6 targets in 5 straight weeks. This dude, like ever since Amari Cooper left and ever since Jameis Winston stepped up, he has been the guy. I thought for those long-term listeners and viewers, you remember I was high on Jerry Jeudy going into the season as well. This is the Jerry Jeudy I've been expecting. Deshaun Watson should never take another snap in the NFL ever again. Like Jerry Jeudy is goddamn good. And I don't know why the Browns traded Amari Cooper away. Could you imagine how good this offense would be with both of them? But bottom line being is he is seeing a lot of targets. He's producing a lot with those targets. He is a guy that if you're the lucky few that are in that 37%, he is a number 1 waiver wire pickup across all positions.
This is a thought that just creeped into my mind
Correct.
I'm wondering if the Browns are starting to like shed some cap space by like trading Amari Cooper, and they may make some decisions in the offseason because they want to release Deshaun Watson and just absorb that cap hit and then just go with the cheaper roster, sort of moneyball it for a while. Yeah. And maybe they're going to draft somebody in this upcoming draft.
It's funny you should say the moneyball thing, because do you know who the Browns GM is?
It's Andrew Berry, right?
I don't know, but I don't know his name, but it's the guy who, or he might be VP of operations. But anyway, the Browns hired the guy who Jonah Hill's character was based off of.
Oh, yeah. That I knew. Yeah. No, the GM is Andrew Berry. I know that.
For sure. So yeah, it's probably like VP of football operations. Yeah, but anyway, he is something like that. But yeah, no, it's funny because they could be moneyballing it because they got one of the moneyball guys in there.
Because, I mean, you have to look at it. It's like the Browns were able to pull up that, I know it was a blizzard snowstorm or whatever. It's like they pulled off a great win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And just Winston is just overall made this offense look a lot better. Like, I mean, exactly like I said, Jerry Jeudy's relevant. Cedric Tillman became relevant.
David Njoku. I traded Njoku away because he wasn't doing shit. And then I trade him away the week Deshaun Watson gets hurt. Damn it.
So like I said, that is just a thought that sort of just creeped into my head as you sort of mentioned that. That's just like, why would they trade Amari Cooper? It's like, you know what? I'm wondering if maybe they're thinking about this. That's just like, you know what? Let's absorb our loss. It was a massive L that we took for taking Deshaun Watson.
That is the most logical explanation I've heard so far.
Timestamp it 34:47 or whatever. I want to see if this comes true or not. All right, Ted. I got a dart throw of a tight end pick, and that is Noah Gray, tight end with the Kansas City Chiefs. So
this is a good one.
Who leads the Chiefs in receiving touchdowns? Who would you think?
I'm laughing because I know he doesn't, but DeAndre Hopkins has to be getting close.
He's been looking pretty good, but he is not, unfortunately, the leader. We have two players that are tied for the receiving lead. The rookie, Xavier Worthy. He has 4 touchdowns, and the other one is...
Okay. Wait. Is that receiving touchdowns or rushing touchdowns? Does he get the weird, like, jet... Really?
Yeah.
Because he's got a couple of those, like, jet sweep ones.
Those count as passes.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Not if he hands it off. No.
If he hands it off, yes, that's a run. But if he does the little pitch right in front, that's considered a pass.
Thanks, Coach. I wasn't aware of that. Thank you so much for that lesson.
Maybe you weren't, because for some reason you mistracked notes and you forget all these other things. So I just had to make sure that
okay. Well, you keep talking. I'm going to look up how many rushing touchdowns he has.
But yeah, Xavier Worthy and Noah Gray are currently tied for the receiving lead on the Kansas City Chiefs with 4 touchdowns apiece. In back-to-back weeks, Tad, Gray has scored 2 touchdowns apiece in back-to-back games now. Now, obviously, Travis Kelce is the main tight end on this team. He is going to be that guy that they're going to be relying on.
Travis Kelce actually leads the team by a lot with receptions.
In receptions and targets.
Shocking. Yes. Everyone's been talking about what bad season he's been having. But anyway, sorry. Keep going.
But I think the bigger thing is that I'm wondering with the way that their record is stacked right now at 10-1, it's like I'm wondering if they're sort of preserving Kelce. That's like, you know what? We need him for that playoff push. We need him.
They are not. They are not. I have stats to prove they are not.
I know he has crazy numbers when it comes to targets and receptions, but just for some reason, it's not leading to a lot of production. And instead, in the red zone, we're seeing a lot of Noah Gray here. So it's like I'm wondering if once they get to the red zone, they're just more open to just finding whoever is open. And Noah Gray has sort of been the benefactor in this case. So it's like you look at over the last 3 weeks, Kelce is averaging 8 targets per game and 5.3 receptions with only 1 touchdown. So it's like you said, he's gained the targets, he's gained the receptions, but he's not gained the touchdowns. I think he only has 2 touchdowns on the entire year.
He does.
But I think the big thing here is just like I said, this is a dart throw because I don't know if this hot streak will continue, but it seems like he has caught Mahomes' eye, especially once they get to the red zone. That's why he's had back-to-back games with 2 touchdowns apiece in both of them. So yeah, I could see him being a red zone threat through the rest of the regular season, maybe even once we get to the playoffs as well. But yeah, if you need to stream a tight end, he is widely available, only rostered in 1.8% of ESPN leagues, so he's very widely available. But yeah, like I said, streaming option, a little bit of dart throw, a lottery ticket play. Noah Gray could be that type of guy.
This is insane. So Travis Kelce is first on the Chiefs receptions, leaderboard with 68.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess who second is?
I think second is Xavier Worthy.
Okay, do you want to guess how many?
I think he has like 40 or something like that. Like it's quite a bit lower.
28.
I think the target number is 40 or something like that, right?
Target number is 54. So yes,
54,
but
okay,
like
yeah.
I 40.
Yeah.
There's a 40 reception difference between your first and second reception. That is crazy. God damn. Do you want to guess how many rushing touchdowns Worthy has?
Rushing touchdowns?
Rushing touchdowns.
I want to say 3.
Oh, close. 2.
He has 2. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, no, I actually like this because, well, I was going to quiz you on this, but I feel like you probably know this already, or you mentioned it, and I was just too distracted looking at stats. Third on the reception list for the Chiefs is Noah Gray.
Yeah.
So yes, no, I think this is a very good, again, speculative ad. I'm sure our listeners and viewers are very sick of me saying that, but at this point in the season, you got to take what you can get. And this is the same level of adding a Hunter Henry, in my opinion, of just like, you just got to pray they catch a touchdown. And Noah Gray's been on a touchdown streak. So yeah, no, I like this. I like that pick a lot. Especially because, like you say, so widely available that it's anyone listening to this can probably get him. So no, I like that. Noah Gray out of.
I actually have no idea.
Yes! I win.
It's because you had the screen up, probably. That's why you know. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have known it off the top of your head.
I definitely did not check and cheat on that.
So where did he go?
Duke.
Oh, Duke. Okay. Yeah, I never guessed that either.
Hold on, let me check again. I mean, for the first time.
All right, Ted, what do you got at kicker for us this week?
Oh, kicker. This is going to be, honestly, this is probably my gutsiest. I still have not made my picks for the rest of the week. This is probably the gutsiest pick I've made all week.
Okay.
Eddie Pinheiro.
The Carolina Panthers.
I know. People are like, what the fuck are you talking about? But let's not forget, this is Carolina offense that put up double-digit points against the Chiefs. This Carolina offense is no longer like a laughingstock. They're not good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking them up like, oh no, they're legitimately good. You just don't. No. Carolina still sucks. Don't get me wrong. But they've reached that sweet spot for a fantasy kicker. And what is that sweet spot? They're just good enough to get a field goal opportunity, but they're not good enough to get that first down. Because Pinheiro is that how you say it, by the way?
I think it's Pinheiro, yeah.
Okay, those Italian names scare the shit out of me.
Is he Italian?
I don't know, Pinheiro. That's
why are you saying it's an Italian last
name? It sounds like a pizza you'd stick in the oven, like a Pinheiro. Like, what'd you have for dinner last night? Oh, Pinheiro.
I don't think it's Italian.
DiGiorno, Pinheiro. Oh, Pinheiro with vodka sauce. I mean, it's.
Yes. Just continue to insult.
Is that racist?
Do it. Yes. Just continue. Get our podcast banned. Like, please, just dig the hole deeper, please. I'm asking you to.
I mean, Pinheiro pasta. That's my favorite style. So,
do you have any actually relevant information? Seriously.
Anyway, he scored double digits in the last 2 weeks, which is shocking when you consider, it's the Panthers. And you look at their opponents over the next couple of weeks is the Cowboys, the Bucks, the Cardinals, and the Falcons. There are 2 other teams, but I'm choosing not to name them because their defenses are actually good. But when you play 3 bad offenses over the next couple of weeks, especially as Amir pointed out earlier in this episode, when you need your kicker performing big time because playoffs are coming up, that's a pretty favorable schedule for a kicker that's starting, hit his hot streak. So, yeah, Eddie Pinheiro, I like it. I also like Pinheiro and cheese.
Not bad. Tad, are you actually going to be surprised by my defensive pick? Because I'm surprised that they're so widely available. I think we brought this up before a couple of times on waiver wire episodes, but the Los Angeles Chargers defense is only rostered.
I mean, they must get a fuck ton of sacks.
They do. And they're only rostered in 42.2% of ESPN leagues right now. So it's like 50% of leagues are not rostering the Los Angeles Chargers. They have a very good matchup against the Atlanta Falcons this coming weekend. We've talked about Cousins' performance in this season, but in fantasy football, he's only done well against Tampa Bay, because against Tampa Bay, he's averaging 31.5 fantasy points per game. Against all other teams combined, he is averaging 11.3 fantasy points per game. So, I mean, this is a very good matchup for a very good Chargers defense. I know they kind of took it on the chin against the Baltimore Ravens tonight, but I think they could bounce back well against a weaker offense in Atlanta. They have a very tough run defense, so this will be a tough game for Bijan Robinson as well. They've only allowed 3 rushing touchdowns on the season. So yeah, I like this Chargers defense. They have a good matchup this week, and like I said, they're pretty widely available, so they're a very solid streaming option here in Week 13.
Chargers lost 30-23, so not too bad. Damn, Ladd McConkey is good, man. 6 catches for 83 yards. But anyway, no, I actually like that pick a lot. Like I said, I mean, that their pass rush is very, very underrated. That secondary with Asante Samuel Jr. Who do they have opposite of him? It's someone else good that I really should not be blanking on.
Isn't Samuel hurt right now?
It might be. Anyway, I'm sure someone's going to message us very angry that we can't think of it right now. But yes, no, I think that's a very good pick for maybe one of the more underrated defenses in the entire NFL. So yeah, no, I actually really, really like that pick. That's good. On a separate note, you want to know what I had for dinner tonight?
I don't.
Pinheiro penne.
I don't want to know at all. All right, guys, so that'll close out our waiver wire episode here for Week 13. I mean, guys, we're talking about this is a very critical last couple of weeks of the fantasy regular season. This is the chance for you to sort of make your final push to make it into your respective fantasy football playoffs. So this is where, your waiver wire decisions make all that much more important. Your start-sit decisions are all that more important. I mean, just everything. If you're playing in a fantasy league without a trade deadline, you need to make some last-minute trades. This is a very important week for you as well. This is where you need to interact with us on our social media handles. You got us on Twitter. You got me at UpTheSide23. You got Tad at TadSide94. Got the show handle at The Aside Guys, and of course on Instagram at The Aside Guys as well. So hit us up with all your respective questions when it comes to your specific fantasy football league. Whether you need, like I said, waiver wire help, start sit help, trade help. Just whatever it is, we can help you with personalized advice for your respective situations, for your respective fantasy football league. We want to help you win as many fantasy titles as we can and take home as many fantasy championships as we can. Also helps that, subscribe to our podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so it's up to date with the videos as well. And please, guys, make sure you're supporting our parent network at LAFB Network, because without them, there would be no us. They're giving you a lot of great content when it comes to, they probably got your post-game analysis for the Chargers going up pretty soon. Probably a live video, I don't doubt it. As well, they give you some great coverage about the Los Angeles Rams as well. And then they still got you covered on the college football level as well with the Bruins and the Trojans. They just had a great clash between the Bruins and the Trojans over the weekend.
Who ended up winning that, by the way?
USA won that game. USA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, and that means the USA won it, damn it.
USA won it. The state of California won that one. So yeah, they gave you a lot of great crossover coverage between Brew and Bible and Salute to Troy. They're going to give you a lot of post-game and post-weekend coverage as well. But Tad, we are no longer just your one-stop shop for football coverage. We got you covered for baseball as well as basketball. So baseball is still a little bit down the pipeline, but basketball season is here right now. So we got your Lakers and Clippers coverage going on right now. And like I said, once the new year comes upon us, we'll have your Angels and Dodgers coverage as well. So, guys, lots of great coverage, lots of great content coming from a lot of great content producers. So, to everybody who's already supporting our podcast by, watching our videos, listening to the podcast, interacting with us on social media, who are taking advantage of our YouTube shorts by making some bets on Underdog Fantasy. Just any way and every way that you're supporting us by, our podcast in every single way. Cannot thank you enough.
Do you like egg? Do you like eggplant parmesan?
Yes.
Okay. I prefer Panero parmesan. Panero. Oh God. All right, so this is the last episode of the Decide Guys. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening.
Yeah, 100%.
Pinero Parmesan because of the whole Italian. Oh man, the alliteration with the two-piece. Why do you hang out with me?
I question it every single day. Seriously, I do. As I'm going to sleep, I'm like, why do I do this with him?
Oh God, I'm not even high. Anyway, point being is, thank you as always, everyone, for watching and listening. Be sure to check out Salute to Troy. They are doing excellent USC coverage, as Amr just informed me. USC pulled off the upset against hated rival UCLA. Is UCLA ever going to be good?
That's a question for our good friends Will Decker and Jamal Modney.
Is Chip Kelly still there? Yeah, Modney. Not the madman, but the modman. Is Chip Kelly still their coach? Do you know?
No, Chip Kelly's long gone. It's Deshaun Foster.
What?
Former running back Deshaun Foster.
Holy shit, look at that. Well, you know who does know that is Alro over at Salute to Troy, and I'm sure he will be gloating massively over the next couple days. So be sure to check that out if you're a USC fan. If you were like me or Murr and you like talking about movies or TV shows, especially The Simpsons, be sure to check out LA Podfidential, hosted by good friend of the show, honestly, probably best friend of the show, Chauncey Talese. He does amazing work breaking down both football and the latest pop culture news and I guess rumors. So be sure to check that out as well. In case you're like, well, check it out wherever you find our podcast, you can find theirs as well. So be sure to check it out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever else you find your normal podcasts. That's where you can find theirs as well. So please do us a favor if you're a loyal listener and follower, check them out. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching, and please stay safe, everyone.